Today, we are going to make some grass. No, I'm not in Colorado, so it's not going to be that kind of grass. It's our techniques that are so simple and sensible, your mowers will practically build themselves. Hello folks, it's Mad Dog Merv. Welcome back to the doghouse. Today I've got a resin kit to look at. And this one, well, I treated myself to a birthday present back on my birthday. I have been wanting for years and years and years and years a 67, 68 Cougar model. Well, they only brought them out in 2 different years, or 2 years. And the problem is they never re-released them except for as a funny car kit. So your interior and chassis and all that you couldn't get. So it's been kind of a holy grail for me. For my birthday, I did spend quite a bit of money, and I got me a 67 Cougar that was already built up. I think I paid like 95 bucks for this thing, and I built it to replicate one of the Cougars that I actually owned. I rebuilt it. And there's a movie up on that from just a few weeks ago. But I really wanted a kit that I could build. So I spent the $40 plus shipping, and I got me a 67 resin body. So I have already primed it. Got a squeaky voice today. I've already primed it, but it came, just white resin. Kind of thick. There's one out by Model House that, and I think Model House isn't in business anymore, but if you find that kit, it's extremely well done. It's not thick resin. It's wow, it's beautiful. It almost looks like it's plastic. The problem is you're going to pay a couple of $100 easily for it. It's very rare. This one, I don't know who did it. But the body is a little bit warped. You really can't see it, but the body is a little bit warped. So I'm going to have to do some things to tweak that a little bit. I did go ahead and prime it right out of the gate, so it's already done. And I took the front window out just to see if a windshield that I had from a 69 kit would work. And of course I just taped the hood shut. So the nice thing about this is you've got these little 6.5 badges on the side, so for $3.90, and you've also got the 67 Cougar badge here on the back end. So that's a real plus for this. I would like to someday take this kit or this body and make my own molds, so that I could have some for me, and maybe if somebody else wants some, because again, I know there's people that want these. They're just really hard to find. The resin on this is really thick in some areas, so I would want to change that a little bit. What else was in the kit, you ask? What else was in the kit?
I gotta find it.
Oh, it's right here. Silly me. I took these other parts out to resin casting. So you have a rear bumper area. Okay, I took that out and I cast it for other projects that I want to do. And you have some rear tail lights. And I don't know where I put the tail lights right now. How about that? I don't know where I put the taillights, but I did make a mold, and made my own taillights. So that was kind of a good thing. And then here is the front valance that came with the kit. And I'm trying to find the rear valance. It came with a rear valance as well. Sorry folks, I got a lot of pieces and parts here. And there's the rear valence that came with it. Okay. And then it came with a front grill. And of course, that was the first thing I went and made a resin cast of, was the front grill. And I'm trying to find it here. So the front grill, right here, I already got it painted with some chrome paint. You see it comes just as white resin. So I've gone ahead and I've already painted this up with some chrome paint, but you'll notice the centerpiece is missing, and that's because it is part of another part. So the front valence, come on front valence, I know I've got some of you in here. So this front valence, you can see the center part. I've broken that center part off, and the reason is when I did my molds, I molded it in. Yeah, I thought it would be much better that way. So anyway, I do have the original center part. It's here in my box of pieces parts that I have cast somewhere. So you've got the front grille, you've got the rear tail light assembly, you've got a front valence and a rear valence, and that's pretty much it. That's the kit for 40 bucks that I bought. So since then, if you don't have an interior, because the 67 interior was unique, you can go ahead and get a 69 interior from a 69 kit, and it'll work, it'll fit, but it doesn't look quite right because, well, it's for 69. However, I do have a 67 interior that I purchased. This is it. I mean, it was the one out of this car that I built. And then I went ahead and resin cast this thing. So I've got resin casts of the interior tub for a 67, which is really good. So I've got that. As far as the chassis goes, they recommend, and rightly so, the 1969 chassis that comes on the 1969. This is actually the one that came in this model here. So this is an actual from the 67 kit, and you can see here I used one from a 69. They're the exact same chassis, So for those 3 annual kits that they didn't change the chassis, and that's good. That makes the build of this a whole lot easier. For the dashboard though, because the 67, 68's got a unique dashboard, you can't use the 69 in it. Actually, you can, it just won't look right. This is actually out of that 67 built model, and I tore it apart and made resin cast, and so I have dashboards for days for the 67, 68. However, it doesn't look great. It's a bit toyish. It's one of the real weak parts of the original kit. So I have upgraded, and I need to make resin casts of the upgrade that I've made to actually come from a more modern 67 Mustang kit and a 69 Cougar kit. I've combined the dashboards together, and it actually turned out pretty good. Check out my GTE, my 1968 GTE video that I've got from about 2 years ago, and that's the dashboard that I scratch built. So anyway, as far as an engine compartment, I want to use a decent engine compartment for this, and this comes from a 1968 Revell Mustang kit that I've been using for parts on different things, and I think this one will work nicely for the engine compartment. So, because the engine compartment is just these two, yeah, terrible. So anyway, that's my review of this resin kit that I've added a few things to, and we're going to get building this. I'm going to build it into a green 1967 that I had for a while with a big block. So thanks for joining us today, and stick around. See what we got next week. I'm sure it's going to be weird. Thanks, folks.